Mom and SD have been married for around 18 years. She had brought him down to Las Vegas in October 2014 so he could recover and get disability from his work, overworking him to work almost double his standard hours of local truck driving, and I mean like trailer trucks. So, this was horrendous abuse by the company. This just excuse what's about to take place and what I learned over time. So, she brought him down here with her travel nursing cause she made more than enough to cover everything. But, well, he got caught cheating, gambling away nearly parts of her paychecks for things like utilities and large portions of rent leading to emergencies, pocketing money for paying fines or car payments, things like that. He eventually was given the option to leave or stop his behavior, about 8 months from the original story I was telling and, well, left. Mom told SD if he left, he isn't coming back, and she meant it. So he ended up going back up to Oregon to live with some friends, and his brothers kicked him out, and he ended up coming back to Las Vegas cause basically his brother prioritized helping someone worthwhile. SD's niece who fell on hard times by no fault of her own and had basically been pulling the same shit with them that he did with my mom to them, being a freeloader. But that's not what I've come here to write about. There's nuance and shit about that I do not know. I do know about a couple of more recent things that happened whilst I was in the hospital for gallbladder removal and subsequent complication issues from it, and hanging out with her during her days off the week and a half had been hospitalized. So she had gone and got the paperwork for divorce. She sent him the paperwork, with necessary cash to cover the cost of a ride-Uber bus ticket, to the bank to get the papers she sent him signed and notarized and sent back to her. She is smart and literally only sent what she needed him to sign, see, legally speaking. She's literally just trying to get him out of her life forever. She sent this to him just before my surgery. He got shortly after my initial surgery. He told her as much, and I know cause I was there hanging out with her after a trip to the post-surgery. So this went according to expectation, for SD that is. So SD decided to tell Mom that he couldn't get it done because he didn't have valid since his license was revoked due to non-payment of tickets. Her question was then, how did you open your own bank account? Which is a really good question, as at the bank she joint banked with him at, you needed both people with it present to remove someone from the account, and my mom found this out when trying to remove him, and he had somehow managed to, at a later date, remove himself from her account and opened a separate account, which makes us wonder if he had some random woman pretend to be Mom while he presented it and made his own account, or if he got someone to break bank pop. But that's neither here nor there in this case. The point was, she had caught him in a lie. She knew that he had it that would let him get it notarized, and that he was trying to stall and hopefully get more money. So, moving forward about today's and him in the hospital, she's working and trying to visit me as she can. Not much happens other than him saying he tried to go to USP's FedEx and that didn't work. Apparently, as well as, that he was looking into getting a passport replacement and that he might need help with that. Not that Mom cares. I'm getting to hear this in relative real time. Then, SD decides he is going to try something else. And I'm just going to type it out instead of link my other post in with happened. Though if you want, there is a picture with the screenshot of how he wrote it. Somewhere, I don't know where anymore. Yesterday I went to the bank and they couldn't do it either because of my passport being outdated. She told me I can do the passport thing online, and somebody said I could go to the post office and do it either way. What did it cost us last time? $100. I had a big problem yesterday. Went to buy a car, went to go get change, and somebody grabbed my wallet. I chased after him. You'll find out today, hopefully online, if I can even afford to get another ID thing. If I go to DMV, they're going to want to have some kind of information which I don't have to give them, and I don't think they'll take my updated passport for it, but I can always find out SD over to texts. The reason this is especially bullshit is that he keeps his wallet in his front pocket. I've never not seen it there for over 18 years. For starters, that he lives in a really safe area of Las Vegas. Secondly, so it's honestly more likely that Robert Downey Jr. waved at him than he got mugged. 3. He has a back fracture, so him running after anyone for more than 2 steps is about as likely as me having the body I want tomorrow morning. And fourthly, upon whatever you have to do, if you really need it, they'll give you $50 upon getting the paperwork back to cover double the cost of the state it or half the cost of the passport. He basically told her that he'd do his best to get it back to her before the end of the week. This meaning he wants that $50, and the idea that she'd be willing to give him $50 for returning the paperwork properly was enticing to his gambling addiction. It also helped that she basically told him that if he didn't do what she was politely asking him for a week and had provided him money for to begin with, to do, that she would basically file single and put in everything that he did that mom knows SD did, and assured him that she knows more than enough to entitle her to a significant portion of his retirement and disability, as it would do to his lying, cheating, emotional manipulation abuse. I also wanted to add, he knew I was having my gallbladder removed when mom told SD she sent it. He also knew I'd been in the ER on Tuesday and had had a seizure, and that mom was taking care of me. He knew the days she was working and that I was in a hospital Thursday and undergoing 3 different procedures in about the span of a week to fix the complications. SD knew because mom told him so. He knew that she didn't have time for his excuses. He didn't care. He kept trying to get money, and on a few days used my situation to start the conversation for the day before trying to get her to send him money. Just wanted to put that one out there because he knew what was happening. That my mom was working and visiting me on her off time and keeping up with my situation, as I had no one else to do that for me except her. Honestly, I'm unsure where this fits. All I know is that I had to put it on Reddit because this has been the shit he had been pulling while my mom had been trying to help me recover from surgery and make it through my hospital stay. And I decided to post it here after I found out that it posted about it 3 years ago in Entitled Parents, closer to 3.5, as it all occurred in May 2019 if I'm remembering the year correctly. Epilogue: prior to the TL, Chris's, the last 3 years after this all took place. My mom, after dating to losers, eventually found a guy she really likes. I can't say much about him other than he makes amazing food and deeply cares about my mom and animals as well as other people. His family, as in his kids, are realizing has a decent person. Decent enough for me to even refer to him as dad, which I have never done, ever. I usually call people by their first name, though my mom and grandparents are the exceptions to that. Both of us had to lean on each other along with my grandma to get through my great-grandmother's passing almost 2 years ago now. She passed at 89, and yes, I was close to her. It was hard for all of us. But we all got through it, and her boyfriend supported her through it all. She even bought him an extremely nice bass guitar. I don't know much of anything about bass guitar, or guitars in general, but apparently, it was so nice that he broke down in tears in private with her, and has an enthusiast over bass guitar playing and sports. Last portion of the epilogue. My mom learned, as a sport hobby. The coach won't take strippers, just people who want to learn it as a sport hobby style of self-expression. She learned pole dancing and has been getting stronger and losing a ton of weight as a result. So overall, the last 3 years have been a relatively happy, if not bumpy, ending to this saga. P.S. We did get everything back to my mom, signed with marriage certificate, shortly after the original post. He handed it over to my little sister after she helped him out with something in person, as payment. I forget what she was there to help with, unfortunately, but the divorce was finalized shortly after that. P.S. This happened when I was 28, and little sister is 20 during all of this bullshit occurring. SD is basically trying to act like a victim and guilt trip mom into keeping him in her life, and she isn't having it, giving him every opportunity to just comply and sign the divorce filing for her so that she no longer has to deal with him instead of filing single and go after him for everything he is worth. Meanwhile, he thinks he is entitled to be with her because he is married to her and loves her, even though everyone is well aware that he is currently having sex with some random woman, as he did that while living with my little sister. So, yeah, tried to bring it all back together there.